Hello guys, welcome back to another video where we would be talking about credit cards. So here we have Manish with us. Thank you Manish for your time
Thanks
here
for
with
having
us.
me, Sam.
So this person uses credit card so much but very prudent and disciplined with those cards. That's how he is benefiting out of them. Yes, let's say yes. I can't number them. He has so many cards. Card uses different cards for different users, which benefits him a lot. So it is he who inspired me using cards prudently, having very good education and awareness on how we use cards. We treat credit cards as debit cards so that we don't fall into debts. Guys, we will have certain questions being answered by Manish. He has used, so he has very good amount of experience and inputs that would help you, many of you who are unaware of how to use credit cards and how can we benefit out of them. So Manish, how to choose or how do you choose best credit cards and how credit cards reward system work and how can we maximize that reward system for our benefit?
Okay, so for choosing the card, basically when you go to any bank or in the market, you will get multiple cards.
Okay.
For example, I will take here the SBI Air India cards,
Okay.
which comes in categories. So the first category will be like they will give you economic tickets or maybe 5,000 reward points, and they will have some fees to it. Then for the next category, they might give some like 10,000 points they will give when you receive the card or when you will activate it, or they can give a business class.
Okay, you are just giving a single example
Yeah,
of
it's a
one card.
single example for
Okay.
the SBI card.
Okay.
Now it is for choosing the card. So definitely the card which is offering you the business ticket will be costly, like the annual fees and the renewal fees for that card will definitely be costly than what is it for economic ticket.
Okay.
The card which is offering that. So for choosing, first you will see what are your requirements.
Okay.
Now if you are going to shop through Flipkart, definitely you must have heard of the Flipkart Access Credit Card.
Okay.
Which gives 5% on the Flipkart, but at other places like on Myntra and all, it gives 5% because they are all subsidiary of Flipkart only.
Yes.
But for other places, if you go to Amazon and all, it will give 1% or 0% rewards.
Okay.
Then again, for example, you can take Amazon ICICI card. That will give 5% on Amazon and Uber and other stuff. Then there are few cards like SBI Cashback, which was recently launched.
Okay.
Not recently, like 2.5 years back. I'm using it for long.
Yeah, guys. Here I want to mention. Okay, this guy uses this card for, I mean, to the fullest. So he's benefiting so much out of it. And even when we friends wanted to buy something on some, when we know that there is a need, there is specific purchase needs to be done, we use this card, so we get 5% out of all the expense on that card.
Yeah. So this card will basically help you, like there are no offers on the Amazon or any online website.
Yeah, very beneficial card.
You can just use this card. You get flat 5% cashback in your card statement. Done.
Yes.
So basically choosing is like, you see for the requirements, you see which card suits it the best.
Okay.
Like if I want
Suits
cashback,
your needs best.
yes.
Okay, from what you said, what I understood is if you are a person who travels more, go for the card that gives so much of travel points or rewards related to travel. If you're someone who spends so much on online shopping or even other shoppings, go for the card that rewards you with
Yes,
all
like
sorts
cashback
of.
or reward points based on those.
Okay.
Because there are partnerships and all. Because we are in a stage that we just shopped a lot.
Okay.
We haven't traveled much yet. So, but yeah, for traveling, there were cards like Access Atlas and all, which are devalued now.
Okay.
But they were the best in their class. We are in a particular segment where we get out of college, get in a job, we have our initial salary.
Yeah.
Then we go for cards, unsecured cards.
Okay.
Now for choosing cards, one more thing comes, like if you don't have income and you are just a student in a college or somewhere, then you have option to get secured cards.
Okay.
Now those are basically you give the bank an FD and they give you like 70 to 90% of your FD as a credit limit.
Okay.
So that in case you don't pay back,
You are not able to pay back. They
get it from your FD. But yeah, because the risk is more, they take a collateral
Okay.
just as a normal loan.
Mm.
Now coming to the rewards part.
Mm.
So rewards are basically, if we categorize it two ways, either it will be a reward points
Mhm.
in terms of travel miles, air miles, or some points which you can again redeem for some vouchers and other things,
Mhm.
or it will be a direct cashback
Okay.
to your credit card statement,
Mm.
or like for Amazon, it's in Amazon Pay wallet.
Okay.
So most of the time while shopping, I will say that these direct cashbacks are good.
Mm.
But again, when you are shopping for points,
Mm.
the reward system, which gives in terms of miles or points, is much better. Now, reason for that is, we can take example like in normal category cards, we have a SBI Simply Click cards.
Mhm.
Normally, it gives you like few points, 1 or 2 points for 100 or 200 rupees.
Okay.
But when you shop for like on Amazon or few co-branded websites which have some collaboration with the SBI Simply Click, it will give you 5x to 10x points. So
Mhm.
where you are getting 2 points on 100 rupees, you will get like 20 points or 10 points. So
Okay.
at that phase, you have to see which brings you more value.
Mm.
So these were the two parts. Another part was,
How do you maximize them?
yeah, so
How do you
maximizing.
how do you maximize the usage of cards?
Yeah, so for
Which will help you with your financial goals.
So for maximizing, let's see. Okay, so recently I bought this Samsung S23 Ultra on Amazon.
Okay.
Now the thing was that I can use my SBI cashback card, which will give 5% up to a certain limit, which was 5,000.
Okay, guys. Here, this is very good example, a real life example that had happened already. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I had already consumed around 3K limit on my card.
Mm.
Now, if I shop for that mobile device from Amazon using that cashback card,
Okay.
my cashback limit will, I mean, it will surpass that limit, and I will get less value, that is 2K in refund.
Mm.
Sorry, 2K in cashback.
Okay.
But if I use Simply Click, I can get reward points based on that, and then the overall value, and because of ongoing discounts,
Mm.
like I received around 7K discount, instant discount, using my Simply Click card, SBI, because there was a partnership going on in the sale.
Mm.
So using that, I got a discount of 7,000. Now, if you compare, if I have used my cashback card, which only had 2,000 limit left for this month,
Okay.
it was 2K versus 7K. So there is a difference of 5K.
Okay.
So that's how you need to see that which card is providing the best benefit in that situation, and then you can use that.
Okay. So I think that has already lit up some sparks in viewers' mind. Okay. So there are already many misconceptions about credit card. If you can simplify and give some answer, some very basic misconception that people should get educated about. What is that? What are the misconception about credit card?
Okay.
If you can keep it short and then explain to the viewers.
So for the misconceptions, I will say definitely, because when you go to the old days, like 10 or 20 years back from now, we didn't had so many people using these credit cards or loans. Then at those times in villages, there used to be small money lenders and other people who actually have a huge wealth with them.
Okay, yeah.
And then they used to give loan to people with a very high interest rate.
Yes.
Well, if we see now,
same thing is
even now,
modernized.
It's still 40%, around 30 to 40% on normal cards annually. But again, the ease of payment and ease of repayment have changed. So the complete method have changed.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely at that time, people took loan for farming or some other stuff, for necessary stuff. And then something wrong happened, and then they were not able to pay. Then they had to sell lands, and then auctions and all happened for their houses and everything. So I guess somehow we have a mindset that if we take loan, it's very hard for us to pay back, because we are not sure what is there in the future. Right? We can't predict it.
Yeah.
So if something wrong happens, then we are stuck, and then definitely we will be on the streets, because we have to sell everything to pay the lenders. So maybe that is something which is hindering us from adopting these credit cards.
Finally, it's like the fear mongering over becoming debtors because of loans. That kind of mindset
Yes.
is the misleading people not to use or getting afraid of using credit card.
Hmm.
Okay, moving on to next question. How do you manage your credit score, and how important is it is to maintain a very good credit score?
Mhm.
Where all does it affect as an individual whoever uses credit cards? Yeah.
Okay, so if you see for credit scores, there are basically right now in India four bureaus like CIBIL, Equifax, SRIB, and yeah, one more. But most important of them is the CIBIL, which most of the banks check.
Okay.
So initially, when you don't have any kind of loan, any kind of EMIs, or you haven't purchased anything on finance, you have zero credit score.
Okay.
It's not zero, but it's not applicable for you.
Mm.
So what happens if you go with zero credit score and a salary statement to your any bank for a credit card? You do get a card based on your salary statement.
Mm.
And a good credit score is assumed to be something above 750 out of
Okay.
900. So the issue comes in when your score goes below 750
Okay.
or when you have too many loans. So there are few aspects which your credit score depends on.
Okay.
Now, most important of them is if you have taken some EMI or finance, are you paying all the installments?
On time.
Yes, on time. Then for credit cards, are you paying all the bills on time? Then there is like how much you are credit hungry, or if you have assumed that limit of 1 lakh. If you're continuously using 90k, 99k out of that, or complete 1 lakh, then that shows like your banks will assume, or finance institutions will assume that you don't have money, you always require this much of money, and if you are not paying that on time, your credit score will decrease.
Okay.
So these two are the main things that impact. Another thing is how frequently you are applying for new cards.
Okay.
So what happens is ideally in 3 or 6 months, try to apply for one card.
Okay.
And then after 3 or 6 months, another card. But people sometimes do is like in one single month they will
That is,
apply
if you need new card,
Yes.
you just give this 3 months of cooling period, and then otherwise simply don't go and apply for new cards every 3 months. Okay.
Only if you need.
Only if you are in need of a new card, apply after 3 months of cooling period. Yes.
But what sometimes people do is they get salary statement. They are fresh out of college. They have seen that okay, Amazon sometimes have offers on Axis, maybe sometime on SPI. So they want all 2-3 cards for those. Now they will apply for each of them.
Okay.
Now what happens is maybe assume SBI took the application first, it rejected due to some reason. Now other banks will also fetch the credit score, right? They will see that it have rejected, that will impact. Then maybe they have similar criteria for rejection. Then you will have 4 or 5 rejections on your credit report.
This affects the score overall.
So if you apply for multiple cards, or if you show that you need too much of money, then that means that you are not doing good enough, right?
Okay.
So that leaves a negative impact. That impacts your credit score. Then there are other things like you are applying for different credit cards using different number, different email IDs. Then definitely there is a consistency issue.
Okay.
So that means you might be a fraud also.
So of course, because every expense you spend is linked to your PAN card, and everything is pulled using that PAN card.
Yes.
If there is a discrepancy and then there is no consistency over there, then they also affect the credit score overall. Okay.
And if you have a large number of credit cards, then also it does impact if you don't have a good score. But if you have a good score, then yeah, the effects are normal.
He has good score, so he has almost. Now, currently, I think actively how many cards?
I think right now I have some 9 to 11 cards.
9 to 11 cards, okay.
With a credit score of around...
using different cards for different uses. For fuel, he uses different card. For online purchases, he uses different card. For electronics and other things, he uses different card. So many cards using differently, everything to his benefits.
Well, this is maximizing the profit out of credit cards.
That's how you do it.
Well, normally, I don't think banks want you to maximize the profit.
Yeah.
They want you to take one card, get in the debt trap. But that is how they earn, right? From interest rates.
Okay.
But definitely, if you can.
Okay. Now, now that we understood how our credit scores get affected,
Mm.
why it is important to maintain the credit score?
Okay. So see, if you go for a job interview or anything,
Mm.
they and you have already worked somewhere,
Okay.
they take reference from your ex-employer,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
They ask like how was, or there is some set of questionnaires to them also. They take feedback.
I'm already getting the answer. Very good anecdote though. Yeah.
Okay. So what happens? If you have a good score, you go to a bank. Maybe right now we don't need any home loan or car loan.
Personal
But
loan, or any sort
any
of loan.
kind of loan we might not need.
Mm.
But in future when we do need, we are planning to settle down or anything else, we go for a bank, we ask like, okay, I need 1 crore of home loan. Now on what basis they should trust you that you will repay them the loan?
Mm.
One thing is they can see your salary,
Mm.
that okay, this guy is earning like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, then he, per month if the installment is 50k, he can pay 50k out of 1 lakh.
Mm.
But if salary is only 40k, then definitely he can't, they will reject.
Yes.
Another thing is they will see your past performance.
Mm.
Now you might not have any account or relation with that bank.
Yeah.
Then they will go to the credit score.
Mm.
They will see that okay, you had this loan or you had 5 credit cards for which you have paid everything on time, or maybe you defaulted one, but then again you started to pay everything on time.
Mm.
So what happens is even if they don't know you, using a past record,
Mm.
they can trust you.
Okay. That establishes trust.
Yes.
Mm.
So if your credit score is like 600,
Mm.
then definitely that means that you have defaulted. You have some discrepancy in your contact details or email IDs,
Mm.
or you have not paid on time.
Mm.
So they can't give you 1
Okay.
crore loan, right?
Yeah.
So that is how your credit score affects your future.
Okay.
basically.
Very good. Let's move on to the next question. That is, let's say if someone uses credit card for the first time, or someone after watching this video wanted to or wants to maximize the benefit that credit cards offer, and what is the one advice you would give them so that they don't fall into pitfalls like paying the fees late? What would be the simple advice so that they use the cards prudently?
Okay. So if it's someone's first card, right? Or maybe someone have 2, 3 cards.
Someone is planning to use own card.
Get card maybe.
Mm.
So the thing will be, first of all, you need to track very efficiently that when is your billing date,
Okay.
when is the due date.
Mm.
Normally banks give a 15 to 20 days time from billing to payment date.
Okay.
So don't try to be always late, like on the last date, because there might be some processing, and then if any worst case scenario, your payment is not done on the deadline, then you might then you have to incur the interest charge.
Though
interest
you
and
would
penalty.
have paid it just before 2-3 days,
Yes.
because of some processing things such as this at the background, this might get delayed. So
Because if
just pay it upfront.
Yes, because if you are paying directly to the bank, you can do, but then nowadays there are many apps which allow you to pay credit card bills. So if you're paying using them, then you have to go to them. There will be a lot of issues again, right? You have to follow up and all. So better pay to at least 3 to 5 days in advance. That's what I follow. Another thing will be track all the dates, because if you have like one credit card, it's easy. It might be 2 or 15th of each month. But
It's
if you have
easy to-
multiple cards, then one card might be on 2nd, but one card might be on 31st. Then that's hard to track, right?
Yes.
Even if you forget, then lots of penalty, heavy interest rate, because I think normally it's 2 to 3%, even 4% for some cards.
Okay.
If you see it annually, it's like 30 to 40%.
Mm.
Another thing will be, whenever you get your credit card bill, there are 2 numbers written on that. First one is total amount due. Second one is minimum amount due.
Okay.
So what minimum amount due does is, it gets you time if you don't have cash or that much amount in that particular month.
Okay. For
It
the
gives
total
you
amount.
time- Yes, it gives you time to pay some amount to the bank, and bank won't report you as a defaulter.
Okay.
So it will tell the credits bureau, which keeps the record of a credit score, that okay, this guy have paid and he is paying, so he's not defaulting.
Okay.
It marks you as a green
Oh.
green score for you. But what happens is the interest is charged on the complete amount that you had, total amount due.
Okay.
So again if you're getting 3% on top of that, and then definitely next month you will again have some expenses if you're not disciplined, or maybe there is some requirement needs, urgent needs, then again you will pay the same minimum amount due, and it will keep in a circular track of debt.
Okay.
So that will make your life very hard, because I have seen people being in debt of lakhs of credit card, lakhs in terms of credit card rupees. But yeah, then it's very hard to get out of it, because if you see a personal loan interest rate is like 9% to 12%, whereas for credit cards it's annually around 30 to 40%, which is a huge amount for you to
Yes.
pay. If you take 1 lakh, then 40K you only have to pay interest. So this is one more thing. Maintain a sheet with details how much you are supposed to pay,
Yeah.
and keep a track of your expenses also. Because
Simple
what
Excel sheet.
happens, Excel sheet can help. There are multiple apps also, but Excel is the most efficient. You don't need to pay, no subscription, nothing. Because one more thing, you need to track your expenses, because what happens nowadays, there are multiple charges. Like maybe you swiped your card somewhere which incurred some charge which you are not aware of, or maybe you were charged annual fees and the card was sold to you as a LTF, which happens because all the third party agents, they get commission for this, and they do missell the cards.
Yeah.
So those things you need to take care. So whenever a card statement comes, don't just be like, okay, this is the total amount or this is the minimum amount paid. At least go through the statements. That will help you in two terms. You will get to see that where all you have spent your money. So if you feel like, okay, at a particular shop, like a Chinese restaurant, I went always, which was not required. Then you can also drill down, okay, this is something I am not doing right, and you can improve that habit. And also that will help you to keep a track of unnecessary expenses on your account, as well as what are the charges that are incurred on your card, either by the bank or maybe because you used it somewhere else where you are not supposed to.
Okay. So if a card has benefit and if it is LTF, that is lifetime free without annual fees, go for it and get it because the card I use is LTF.
Well, again, not every card you should get.
Yeah,
You
not
should
every card. It's not like every card you should get, but if there is more benefits and there is a need, and if you are going to purchase anyways, instead of using your debit, use this credit card as a debit card, thinking that it's a debit card so that you don't overspend.
Actually, it's a good point. Like how you said, debit card and credit card, right? So let me share one more thing that I follow. I do have 3 accounts. One is savings, where I have some backup cash in case something goes wrong and I need it. One is salary, where my salary comes. Another account is just an account where I move money throughout the month. Now, why I move money? Assume that I have 50K in the month beginning.
Okay.
I spent my card for 5K, credit card for 5K on some Amazon. Now, my card limit is, let's take 1 lakh. Now, I have a misconception that I have 50K in my account and 1 lakh in my card. But in reality, I have only 50K, but I am thinking that I have 1 lakh and 50,000 in my hand. So whenever I spend 5K using my credit card, I move 5K from my salary account to the account which I only use to pay the credit card bills.
This is very good point. I think many can follow this because every time you spend some money from your card, you move from one account, from your source account to another account from which you will pay the money to the credit card. So this way you don't overspend, you know that you will be on track with how much you spend and all. And then for you to pay the cards, you will have money. You will not run out of money, and then you won't fall into debts and all.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So that's a very good point that came at the last moment. So it was nice conversation, Manish. I think this video would be an insightful video for many people who weren't aware of credit cards or who were aware of credit cards but didn't know how to use for their benefits. So it was a very good, nice conversation. I loved it, and people watching would also love, I think. And guys, if you want to connect with him, he's also working in software company, and we are in the same company though. So you can establish a connection there. You will get not just on credit cards but on different views. He would be able to help you there. I will also give his profile link in the description. So thank you so much, Manish, for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So guys, until the next video, this is Sam and Manish signing off. Bye bye.